Hi, it's Camden Hoch, and welcome to Conversations with Camden, where it's about sharing your truth and where it's about willing to take the dare. Because you know what? That's where we stir it up, and that's where the magic happens. I'm here with my dear friend Jeannie Manchester, and just to share a little bit about Jeannie, she is a teacher, she is a yoga practitioner, she is a mom, and she is an expert in divine feminine wisdom. And she is here to share her goddessness with us today and to also share about her truth, and we're going to give her a little bit of a dare too. So thanks, Jeannie, for coming today.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah. We're just going to jump right in because that's what we do here. And Jeannie, I wanted to ask you, how did sort of you find this area of divine feminine wisdom? And how do you define that?
It's a great question. Well, divine feminine wisdom is really the living life pulse in every human being. It's really in everything. It's in the house. It's in the trees. It's in the flowers. It's in you. It's in me. It's in every little crystal and rock on the planet. It's in everything. So divine feminine wisdom is really the pulsation of consciousness. It's our speech. It's actually quite hard to articulate what it is because it's the movement of consciousness. That we say is feminine in its nature.
Okay. And what drew you to that? When did you feel, oh, this is it for me?
Well, now I know. I felt it as a child. I felt it in the bathtub as a kid. I felt it in water. I felt it every time I moved my body. I felt the joy of connection in my body, but I knew that there was something more that was animating me, if you will. It's what the ancients called star wisdom that is incarnated in the body. Literally what makes up the star matter is inside the body. And it pulses, it radiates. And anytime we're in our passion, we're connecting to that. So I learned that as a kid in activities, in athletics, in dance, and then of course in yoga teaching and yoga movement. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I know that you've been sort of at a place of movement, you know, in your life. You are launching a new program. You're really putting yourself out there to be in alignment with what you feel your true calling is, that's what your truth is. Now, let me ask you, what did you have to give up to really honor that for yourself? Or was there anything?
Oh, yeah. Trust is a big thing. And not caring what other people think. Really just aligning with my gifts through meditation really has given me strength to see that I wasn't trusting myself and that I did care what other people thought. And I'm at a place where I'm really moving through that.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of women can relate to you. Mm-hmm. You know, we're wondering what people think. It's about how we look. It's about what we're putting out there, or how can I please everybody? And what I know that we both know is that you can't please everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's just, we can live a life that's so false, and if we're really not connected to our strength inside. And that's really what I would say the divine feminine wisdom is. It's what I access every time I meditate. And the uncanny thing about this is that gives you internal strength to face your fears out here and not to let those fears inhibit your expression.
I know a big part of what you teach is also about goddess myth and story and archetype, and I know that's something that really attracted me to your classes. I love hearing the stories, and I love hearing the traits and thinking, oh my gosh, that's me, or that's a part of me, but it's hard for me to live into. So what is the most exciting thing that you think that you could share with people watching today that they can take away about how to know the goddess within themselves? That's a big question.
Yes. Well, any time you're immersed in myth, it has this ability to take you to your truth. So whether it's that you see that, you know me, that I have a harder time with the Lakshmi presence of, dressing every day and looking really presentable and actually making myself look even prettier, right? that's a harder aspect for me. So anytime I live into those myths and I see a part of myself that is shadow, I get to acknowledge that. Like, I'm not standing in that, and I could work on that. Or I actually see the fierceness of Durga, for example. I see that is very strong in me, and that it has been since I was a child. So the archetypes allow you to see both shadow and both light, where you're standing and what you need to work on. So it's just a tool to help you find wholeness in yourself.
Okay, I love that, because there's so much talk about, you know, stand up and be the goddess that you are. And I think as women, as we move into more of that flow and that abundance of the feminine, it is, everybody has a goddess within them. They are a goddess, right?
Yes, many, many goddesses. We're all kinds of families of goddesses within, and then there are parts of us that we have in shadow that we just want to pull back into wholeness.
All right, so just a little bit more truth here, okay? We have talked about when we have pain or traumatic experience in our lives, that can actually surface and be the greatest possibility and our biggest gift, and actually where we teach from. I know you've had something that is like that in your life. Would you be open to sharing that with us today?
Sure. I feel like, you know, anytime we have the opportunity to be vulnerable, we actually can break through, and then we can help others break through.
Yeah.
So I would say the biggest challenge of my life has been alcoholism in my lineage, and recognizing, even though I haven't had that propensity to drink in my life, I've had the patterns show up in different places that have really sabotaged me and not allowed me to trust myself. And recognizing that yoga has been a huge, huge, huge part of me overcoming that. And but yeah, I would say that alcoholism and the patterns of alcoholism can really sabotage one's life if you're not conscious. So,
you shared something with me the other day where you really got pretty raw about it. When you were little, you know, what was that pain? You know, you described it in a couple of words to me. Do you remember what that was?
Let's see, what was
because
that?
it has turned into one of your biggest gifts, but that you've also had to hone with boundaries and really look
absolutely.
at. So, do you remember what that was?
Absolutely. Well, there have been a lot of lessons around boundary as an adult. You don't even understand the way alcoholism starts to affect your life until you come into recognition. And as an adult especially, I've been having to experience that even at my age, right? Especially now, because I really want to break through. And when you really want to break through, you have to see where your boundaries have not been healthy. And so relationships have fallen away. I've had to really hone in a relationship around my finances in a way that I have never done before. So there are leaky holes that you start to see in abuse, and how it's affected your life even if you don't abuse, right, in the typical way.
Yeah. Well, I remember specifically the word you said was selfish.
Selfish, yes.
And
yes,
how do you see that now has kind of, it's done a flip, because it has been really a doorway for one of your greatest gifts. So will you talk about that a little?
Yeah, I would say that, you know, as a child, I felt as if I was selfish. I loved sort of creating my own life and creating my own schedule, and I had a family that loved to be with me. And I had this internal feeling that I was selfish, that I took too much time for myself. And that's painful to face. But what I see is that when you take time to hone your gifts and you really are who you are, you actually have more time to give to others. You have more of an honest gift to offer. So I still have to overcome feeling selfish, or feeling that there's too much of what I want to accomplish in my life. And as a mother, I need to always keep that in check, you know, with children and husband, and how to balance my needs with others. But as you know, as a mother, you don't get away with just doing something for yourself. You're always serving.
Well, it's like always being the teacher.
Yes.
You really always have that within you. And I know that has been your gift. You realize that. You realize that was what you embodied. And we always have that nurture within. So that's really been your biggest gift, that grew out of that place of oh, I'm selfish. Would you say that?
Yeah, I'm selfish. I you know, and in that is a kind of a weird hidden message, is almost like I'm not enough. It's a weird message, right? I'm selfish, but I'm really not enough because I'm not giving enough. Really is the message you get. So yeah, I've really had to work on that. I continue to work on that in my practices and breaking through any kind of feeling of unworthiness around feeling selfish or not giving enough.
And I know that's what you teach. You know, it's about having your spiritual practice, your meditation, because that is really the foundation that begins to open, as you say, your creative genius, which really shows you how to serve with your gifts in the world. It really gives you that sense of being able to, you know, allow the stress, the worry to burn off, and then you can really completely and wholeheartedly come into that brilliance that you have. And we're very similar in our messaging, and I think there's lots of women who are out there doing this right now. That's what's so exciting.
Yes.
You know, as we're really living into that. I call it your radiance. You call it your creative genius. We all have the same beautiful messaging, and as we come into collaboration, as you say, it's not about competition, it's about uplifting each other, and that's how the planet begins to heal.
I totally believe that. I totally believe that when we're seated in spiritual practice, particularly meditation, we're literally bathing in the light of the universe, and that light of the universe heals you. And then you begin to see that your life begins to unfold, and you have more trust in what your gifts are.
Oh, I love it. I love it because it really excites me. And, you know, I have 2 girls. I know you have a girl, you have a son too. And we are a living example. It's not about perfection. It's about being on the path, you know. Okay, we're at the dare. Okay. Because I say it's truth and dare. You know, that's how I've lived my life. The dare when I was younger maybe wasn't so safe, but now I'm in a safer place in my life. I'm still a little bit of a rebel. So I know that it takes a dare for people to sort of jump out of where they're comfortable and say, I'm ready to innovate. I'm ready to create anew. And as women, that's who we are. We're creators. Okay. All right. So here's the dare. Okay. So my question to you is, what do we not know about you? What is still inside of you that is really challenging you right now to break out, to move past something that you've been holding on to, but that is a very important part of what you're birthing right now in your life and who you're becoming?
Well, I feel like I have a message for the world, and that I have a contribution to make, and yet, of course, you can kind of doubt that. Doubt is a big issue for most human beings. And that's why I meditate every day. I go to my practice to gain the strength that I might not be feeling. And so doubt can be one of those places that really sabotage us. I have a message to bring to the world that is about light, that each of us have a light to claim. And so part of my challenge is claiming my light, right? It's the very thing I want for others is what I want for myself. So to claim your light, you have to receive help. So that's probably another challenge I have is to not only overcome fear, but to actually ask for help. So working with you, for example, has been part of that challenge for me, is to actually get help in a bigger way. To step into vision, you need help, and you need to find the right people to work with. So coaching has been a huge thing for me. Stepping into doing videos, stepping out of the yoga room and into a bigger message. Feels like where I'm going, I have a book in me, right? Like I have a book in me, and I
got chills.
I do. I feel like, gosh, if we don't do this during our lifetime, we live with regrets on our deathbed. And I don't want to live with regret. So overcoming doubt, right? Stepping in and asking for help in these places that I see. And then I'm going to be able to help people so much better when I actually face those fears inside myself, which I feel like I am doing right now. But it's constant. You know, it's a constant work in progress.
Sure. And you know, as you continue to be honest with yourself and be truthful, and take the dare, because it's about realizing what's coming up, and then it's also about taking action. Then we really do come into the fullness of, this is what the next step is. There's more confidence, we feel more grounded, and if we don't step into that, and I love this because Oprah said this, we die a little bit in our heart each day. And you can see it with people, especially with women. We were talking about this. You can see them actually withering. And you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their skin, their heart. They just don't have that. And we really want to make a difference with these women.
Yeah, it's a big time on the planet for women to step up and to really serve the planet.
Yeah. Well, you're doing some really cool stuff, and I'm so excited. So I'd love for you to share, where can people find you? What are some new programs that you have? What are things that you're envisioning, that are coming up for you in the future? What do you have going on?
You can find me at jeanniemanchester.com, and my latest and greatest breakthrough is my Shakti Rise Immersion, which is a breakthrough for me because it's online. It's also live in Boulder, but it's an online program, so this is huge for me to overcome that kind of I can't do that online kind of thing. Your coaching has been huge for that. So that's a 6-week program where women learn to break through their barriers through meditation practice, to establish spiritual practice that will literally lead you and guide you to your creative expression. It's really quite stunning. So the Shakti Rise Immersion is a 6-week program dedicated to women defining their genius, overcoming blocks, and establishing, most importantly, their meditation practice, because that's the seed of creativity. That's where we source ourselves. That's where we overcome our doubt. We literally burn off inhibition, those places that we feel less than. It's really amazing what meditation does. And so that's a big breakthrough for me. To go online with this program is huge. And upcoming, I really feel a book inside me. I feel the divine feminine wisdom needs to be spoken, and I feel something wanting to come through in that on that level. I feel a mentoring program coming forward around how to really assist women in a longer 9-month, year-long program where I can really help them discover how to establish their genius, how to move through blocks, and really make an offering, because women are being asked to step up right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, one more question.
Yes.
What's a dare for you? I know you just turned 50. You're amazing, and that is a real freeing, I think, liberating time for women. As we talked about, we feel like we're a little bit late bloomers, so we're ready to take on some new things. Do you have a dare? A lot of people want to go and climb Mount Everest, or go bungee jumping, or jump out of a plane, or what's your dare for yourself?
Ooh, I love it. I have done some dares, like backcountry skiing in the Canadian Rockies, and jumping off cliffs into water and things like that. I think as a mom of 2 children, I don't have quite that in me anymore. I feel like my dare is more about standing up and expressing who I am, and divine feminine wisdom seems to be what I'm here to offer.
Awesome.
So my dare is to just stand up and do that, to continue to evolve and offer that evolution in myself, and to not be afraid.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much for coming today.
You're so welcome.
Just my favorite part is sitting with friends who are doing amazing things, who are really shining their brilliance, letting that radiance out, and showing other women you can do this too. So I love you very much.
I love you too. Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Conversations with Camden, and stay tuned, because I have more amazing women who are courageously living their brilliance, shining their radiance, and making a difference in the world. If you know this is you too, it's time to step up and join our tribe. See you next time.